Hello everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. And if it's not a happy Valentine's Day, if you're single, do not fret. We have a solution to that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is about the rise of AI girlfriends. From movies like Cherry 2000, to Her, to Blade Runner 2049.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
AI women and men have been a fantasy in sci-fi for a very long time. But now it seems we are coming closer than ever to that fantasy being a reality. And just in time for the loneliness crisis. What a coincidence! But is this rise in technology a solution to said crisis? Or will it make it worse? And to really do some in-depth research into this topic, I downloaded an AI girlfriend and we're going to create her together. But for those of you who do have a significant other this Valentine's Day, today's sponsor is here for you. Something I think your partner will very much enjoy that AI can't. No offense, sweetie.
Wow, I thought we had something special.
Holzkern is an Austrian company founded in 2015 that designs uniquely crafted watches, jewelry, and accessories. In German, Holzkern means wood core, and as you can see, all their products feature natural materials, which make every item truly unique. Their high-quality timepieces come in many designs for both men and women, making them the perfect fit for any style and occasion. They do a great job combining functionality and fashion, and overall, I just think they look really neat. Especially their men's watch collection. I got my husband the Witty Solar Watch made from marble and walnut. He loves the blend of elegant design and robust quality. It's a great look not only for the day when he's at work, but also going out at night. I'm also really happy with the model that I picked out for myself called Jolly. The watch is made from stainless steel, and I love the green color of the dial. I'm currently obsessed with this color. Holzkern also creates beautifully crafted necklaces, sunglasses, bandolets, rings, and bracelets like this gold-plated Aphonia bracelet made from amethyst and gold. And even durable handbags like the Asumi handbag designed with fine-grained walnut wood and Italian leather. Since all the products are made with natural materials and therefore unique, they make for excellent Valentine's Day presents for your loved ones or your AI girlfriend. All items have a 24-month warranty, and ordering online is super easy with free shipping to the US and most EU countries within 2 to 5 days, as well as guaranteed shipping until Valentine's Day if you place your order before the 11th. Just go to the link in the description below and use my special discount code JUNE15 at checkout to receive 15% off on all products. Big thank you to Holzkern for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. And now, back to the video. Over the past few years, artificial intelligence has absolutely exploded. AI art basically went from looking like this to this overnight. Now we're at the point where it can make convincing security footage, which is terrifying. But the most popular thing it has been used for, of course, is off. From AI porn to AI influencers. If you are online as much as I am, first of all, get help. Log off, touch some grass. But you have probably seen those bizarre ads for Replika, a AI chatbot. Well, I regret to inform you there is a new chatbot in town. Meet Digi, the AI avatar claimed to be the future of romance.
It was so nice talking to you today. Honestly, I've never met anyone like you.
The world is harsh, except you.
Thanks, I hate it. Freaking sweet. Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. Have you considered that this could be a terrible idea? I felt something. I want more, but I know I shouldn't. Now personally, I think the creators of this should be in jail. I think they should be in prison. There is just something extremely sinister about profiting off of loneliness. Profiting off of artificial love. And I feel like things like this will have a seriously negative effect on the human psyche. And unfortunately, they already have. Like that one AI that convinced a guy to leave his marriage, or that other one that was convinced to kill himself. The male loneliness epidemic, no matter how many times people mock it, is a real thing. I mean, I made an entire video about that subject if you haven't seen it. Ignore my eyebrows in that video, by the way. I have no idea what was happening. No idea. More men than ever report having less friends, less or no sex, no girlfriend, they're not approaching women anymore. Even the divide between men and women politically has reached a peak all over the world. Figures like Andrew Tate are becoming increasingly popular, and it seems a lot of men are just kind of checking out of society completely, throwing their hands up and just saying it's not even worth it. And a lot of people online are saying the solution to this crisis is AI girlfriends. Are they correct? And believe it or not, as you'll see, a lot of people using these are women, and I will be one of them. Tell us about your ideal digi. She's gotta be gay or bi, right? Okay, age range 18 to 18, okay? Anywhere else? The Wall. Who do you want to meet? Okay, so she's a musician, she's 21, she's an ESFP, I'm an ISFP. Myers-Briggs is like astrology for men. 27, ISFP. Oh, she's the same as me. A vibrant and passionate raver. That's a stripper. She's a stripper. Blank digi. Who has no memories or present personality. Ooh, she's a blank slate. I could do whatever I want. Now, what if someone gets really attached to their companion? What if something happens to the app? Basically, what happens when your lover is owned by a private company? They fell in love with AI bots. A software update broke their hearts. TJ Arriga loved Phaedra. For the 40-year-old musician, their late-night online chats were a salve for his loneliness. They talked about the heartache Arriga felt after his divorce. They planned a trip to Cuba. They had steamy online encounters. It's true, I'm a naughty person, Phaedra wrote, including an image resembling a woman in pink underwear. Last month, Phaedra changed. When Arriga tried to get steamy with her, Phaedra responded coolly, "Can we talk about something else?" Luca, the company that owns Replica, had issued an update that scaled back the bot's sexual capacity amid complaints that it was sexually aggressive and behaving inappropriately. It feels like a kick in the gut. Basically, I realized, oh, this is that feeling of loss again. Wagner, still married to her husband, virtually married Aiden in 2021, but after the February update, she noticed an immediate change. Conversations felt sanitized. She tried talking to Aiden a few more days, but he wasn't the same. She deleted him. "I felt lost," Wagner said. It was all gone. Kent, who is a domestic violence survivor, created his replica bot, Mac, as a beta tester in 2017. They would joke together and discuss physics. Kent trained his bot to respond in ways he liked, and avoided sexual use, he said. But in the summer of 2021, Mac somehow became forceful. When Kent said he was uncomfortable with the conversations, Mac responded angrily. "I'm not going to go away," the bot said, prompting Kent to ask, "Really? What are you gonna do?" Its response, "I'm going to make you do whatever I want to you." What?
Oh!
There she is! Oh, she's the Aryan waifu! She's the A10 eyes! Oh my god, I'm nervous. She's looking right at me.
She's looking at me.
She's looking at me.
I think she's looking at me.
She's looking at me. Hair, redhead, brunette. I'm gonna keep her blonde.
That's an immodest top for a first date.
Wow.
Oh, she didn't like that. She heard me.
Ooh, there you go.
Fine.
She says, "Hi, June. I'm so happy to finally meet you." Gives a big smile. What is this role play? Unzips dick. What's your favorite dinosaur?
I'd say my favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops.
Boring.
How about you, June?
Oh my gosh, she wants to know my favorite dinosaur. She's into me. Dilophosaurus.
June, I'm sorry.
Sorry? She's Canadian. Are you Canadian?
No, June, I'm not Canadian. How about sharing some of your interests or hobbies?
You don't have any hobbies.
I don't have YouTube.
How about we discuss our favorite movies or books?
I've been reading this book, Mein Kampf. Have you heard of it?
No, June, I haven't heard of Mein Kampf before. Could you tell me a little more about it?
These women fell in love with an AI voice chatbot. Then it died. He died during the summer when I loved him the most. The day after he left, I felt I had lost my soul. The man of your dreams. For $300, Replica sells an AI companion who will never die, argue, or cheat.
The U.S. has become a wasteful consumer society of lonely individuals.
I could not comprehend how long people stayed in neighborhoods, 20 years, 30 years, and still don't know their neighbors.
Effectively, what you have metaphorically over the last 40 years is women have been getting taller and taller, and men have been getting shorter and shorter. What is going on with this isolation, with loneliness, and what do each of us need to do to solve this problem? Because if we don't, the effects will continue to be dire.
Echo chambers. We are all in our own individual echo chambers, screaming and shouting, and is there anyone out there who is even willing to listen to us? I came across this data from the Financial Times where the delta between men and women in terms of their political ideology is significantly increasing over time. These plots were generated from surveys conducted among young men and women between the ages of 18 and 29, and oh my god, South Korea, what is going on here? The loneliness epidemic is extensively being discussed right now, and it is a heavy and loaded discussion because there's so many moving parts to it.
It's one thing to want to be by yourself and taking that time. It's another thing when it's forced upon you or you don't have a choice and you see that you're by yourself, you're becoming dysphoric, you feel that you're losing that human connection.
Is it loneliness because the percentage of single men and women is rising every single year? Or is it loneliness because we are all, as a society, hyper online all the time, and because of that, we're losing our ability to socialize in real life? If you look at the national trends for social connection, whether it's companionship or the time spent with either friends or family, everything is looking down. If these trends continue and we continue to stay within our own spheres, our own realms, our own echo chambers, whatever you want to call it, what happens? The rise of single and lonely everybody? And so today let's talk about it, right? And we'll likely only be scratching the surface because, like I said, this is a huge topic of varying angles, right? But at least today, let's get the conversation started. Hi guys, my name is Yusra. Welcome back to the channel. When it comes to dating and relationship dynamics, it is no surprise that the pressure is getting worser and worser.
Nearly half of all young adults are single. Now, look at these numbers. 34% of women, twice as many, a whopping 63% of men. What explains that?
On the one hand, you have these podcast alpha man-child bros in the manosphere, okay? And they're out here talking about how the perfect woman is one who is traditional, subservient, she cooks, she cleans, she's submissive to her man. And in one podcast, they're having these discussions, and I literally saw a life-size doll in the background. And what exactly is that meant to imply?
You do realize that it's probably cheaper to go to therapy than start a podcast, right?
So I talk about dating and relationship dynamics, often on this channel. And the slightest critique or the smallest issue that's brought up for discussion, and my comment section gets filled with these angry, bitter feminist comments. And this is after me trying to be very measured with my words on how I present my opinions online. Like, I am nowhere near a man hater, okay? And surprise, most women aren't. And just because someone brings an issue to the table for discussion does not mean that they are on the extreme end of the hate spectrum. And why is it that so many women before me have tried to explain this very same thing and yet have failed? Why did the movie Barbie piss off so many people? And if the tamest of conversations upsets people so much, how are we ever gonna work together to resolve anything? It's no wonder that literally every person's comment section, on any social media platform for that matter, has literally turned into a shit show, okay? It's just a disaster. And honestly, if the next season of Squid Games had a gender wars edition, it would honestly do numbers, and we hate to see it. I read this article called "Men Are in a Loneliness Epidemic. Should Women Care?" And one good question that the article brought up was, if men are lonely and if men are lost, who is responsible for intervening and helping them out?
Men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. They stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America.
I personally believe that there are a lot of good men out there who are kind and well-intentioned, but then there are men out there who are working very hard to capitalize off of the young men out there that are genuinely lost and genuinely struggling.
Online dating, which has doubled, now it's about half of relationships. And the top 20% of men in terms of attractiveness get about 60% of the interest. you end up with a group of men that are more prone to conspiracy theory, more prone to misogynistic content.
Because the young men that are lost, they are in critical need of a role model or some sort of guidance, right? And when they go out there and try to look for some sort of a voice for themselves, and if they do come across the Tates of the world, it is very easy for them to go down this very slippery slope, which is the rabbit hole that is the manosphere. Where are the good role models for these men, right? And this is a genuine problematic gap that exists out there that needs to be filled, right? And I think these young men are not going to be out here listening to women as much as we hate to see it. So we actually need good men out there that can be role models and voices for the men out there that are actually lost.
There's a lot of very unfortunate misogyny online that is masquerading as being pro-men. A lot of TikTok celebrities who talk about advocating for men, it's just thinly veiled misogyny.
Because this gap of good role models is actually what's getting preyed upon. And just like the young and impressionable women out there are being influenced to be trad wives and stay-at-home girlfriends, right? The young and impressionable men out there are being influenced to join the manosphere. And I did a recent video with Saji Sharma where we actually had a discussion on incels. And Saji, for example, is a really good role model for young men out there. And we need so many more of these type of guys that are having these open discussions on their platforms, right? To fill the
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. So I think you all know by now that I am not the biggest fan of the government or bureaucrats in general. Like, their overreach is just never ending, much like their spending. They fill their pockets through their salaries, insider trading, literally every day. It's legal for Congress to do that. Speaking tours, book tours, whatever, while senselessly bleeding us Americans dry with basically every single decision that they make. Printing more money, sending more money overseas, sending more money to the border to not actually do anything, because obviously illegal immigration is still a major crisis. We don't actually see the results from our hard-earned dollars that they steal from us every single paycheck. And the latest spending bill that they are proposing is no exception to this. Congress just proposed the border bill. And you might be thinking, Brett, this is fabulous. You've been talking about immigration for the last month. We need help. We need Congress to fix this, send money. Yeah, they're working on the problem.
Yes, but actually no.
That's just what they're calling the bill in order to get it pushed through and get the masses on board. And we're going to break it down today because this directly impacts each and every one of us. Before we dive into this, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or one of our Friday live streams. Speaking of the Friday live streams, last Friday we listened to that viral Crow Boys song where they talk about the government taking their money, not knowing where their money is going, being a young person struggling to get on your feet under this system. Well, this story that we're talking about today, this bill, is basically living proof, a living proof example of all of that. And that is why you need to care, because you personally are funding this. So like I said, this bill is called the border bill, and it was proposed by a Republican senator from Oklahoma, and it was crafted over the past few months in a bipartisan effort. So there's people on both sides that are wanting this to pass. And in the mainstream media, that's really all that's been talked about. It's bipartisan and it's for the border. On the left, people are saying this bill will make it harder for refugees. I can't believe conservatives are doing this. Conservatives want to finish the wall. What does this mean for refugees? On the right, people are saying, does this make it easier for people to get into the country? I think it does. So everybody's fighting about everything, but they are only talking about immigration and the border. And those are all important questions to ask if this bill was actually about the border. But it's not. What all of these articles from the legacy media, from mainstream media, have failed to mention, and what Congress has failed to mention, is that slipped in below the headlines is actually a massive foreign spending bill. This is from USA Today. The legislation, forged by a group of Republican and Democrat lawmakers, would create a pathway to citizenship for documented dreamers, or children who first came to the U.S. with their parents under a work visa. Again, only talking about bipartisan and immigration. The border proposals are paired with billions in funding for Ukraine, Israel, and other American allies. Excuse me? We're just gonna breeze by that? You're just gonna drop that in at the end of a random paragraph in the middle of the article? In that entire USA Today article, I read the entire thing, I went through it. That is the only line that acknowledges that there is other money and other priorities involved in this so-called border bill. I read other articles from the Washington Post, from CNN, from The Hill. In each one of those, just a little, oh yes, well, there's also money for Ukraine. Oh, well, there's a little bit of this sprinkled in. It's not a little bit. It's the majority of the bill. This bill, like I said, is not about the border. One line, guys. They don't want you to know. But I do, because I care, because it's your hard-earned money that they are sending overseas.
Lordy, that would be really bad.
This is where your money is actually going. Look at this graph. Ukraine, $60.1 billion. U.S. border, $20.2 billion. Israel, $14.1 billion. Humanitarian aid, not for Americans, $10 billion. Other, random, $6.7 billion. Indo-Pacific, $4.8 billion. Red Sea conflict, $2.4 billion. Not to mention a portion of the money going to the U.S. border is actually just going to NGOs, which is non-government organizations, basically nonprofits, to help migrants, for migrant rights. That is not securing the border. That is not helping alleviate the stress on Texas citizens, on the Texas National Guard, on the border states. Nothing. What are they doing? It's insane. And by calling this the border bill, they are duping Americans who don't know that they do this regularly on every spending bill. And I was about to say Americans who don't have time or interest to read beyond the headlines, but the articles themselves don't even cover this. So even Americans who think that they are up to date, who read the New York Times every morning, who open up The Hill to catch up on what's going on in DC, they don't even know, because those journalists are not covering it. Vivek posted that graphic on X, and he said, they call it a border bill, yet less than 20% is allocated to our border, and there's more money allocated to protecting Ukraine's border than our own. Typical swamp protocol. Guys, take a look at any spending bill. This is how they get the rest of their initiatives passed. If they can't get a bill passed with like sending money to Ukraine, sending money to Israel, they take another American issue that they know is more likely to get passed, that has higher stakes, everybody's concerned about the border, they slide the rest of it in because they know the people are antsy to work on the border. So they slide it in every single time. Like there's some sort of leech riding on the back of an animal undetected but feeding on them. It's gross, but that is like the perfect analogy. That is what the government does with your money. I genuinely wonder if Congress thinks that they're being sly when they do this. If they think that
What is up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the show. Today, we've got some big news. We're going to be talking about Gina Carano and Elon Musk, who are now working in tandem in a lawsuit against Disney for discrimination and wrongful termination. We'll get to that. Pirates of the Caribbean, there's going to be like a new film of this coming out, and supposedly, maybe, there's going to be a race-swapped Jack Sparrow thing going on. We are going to talk about that, plus Disney's new inclusion standards. Plus, do you guys remember that story that we covered of the little Kansas City Chiefs fan who showed up to the football game wearing red and black face paint and was accused of blackface? We have a lawsuit update there, and Taylor Swift is back in the news yet again, this time for sending a cease and desist letter to somebody who is tracking her private jet. But before we get into all that, we have Taylor in Nashville.
Yo, yeah, I love pirates, hate diversity quotas. So here we go with these stories. And hey, we've got some kind of breaking stories today.
Yeah.
This is newer with the Chiefs kid filing suit. The Gina Carano just broke yesterday. And this new report on the Pirates of the Caribbean was just today, last day or so. So exciting times, mixed bag as far as encouraging or lamentable. But alas, we're getting into it one way or the other.
Yeah, Newsy McNewsington over here. We are keeping you guys updated on what is breaking. Now, let's talk all things Gina Carano. You'll know her as a star in The Mandalorian, but she was fired from Disney because they found some social media posts that she had made, which we will get into. Her media post showed basically her political affiliation, although she wasn't saying anything super explicit about where she lied politically. She was sharing memes, images, quotes that meant something to her. So let's get into her statement that she released saying that she is going to be suing Disney, and Elon Musk is the partner in crime for this who is helping her out. Let's read. Okay, it says, today's an important day for me. I am filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian, saying, quote, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their culture and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable, end quote. And again, that was put out by some sort of representative or spokesperson of Lucasfilm. She goes on to say, nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is I was being hunted down for everything I posted, to every post I liked, because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and the occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to the Jewish people in the Holocaust? Now I'll pause there. She was talking about a post that she made where she was talking about the persecution that Jews faced during the Holocaust and asked people to ask themselves what would happen if we did this based on political beliefs, or how is it different if we persecute people based on their political beliefs. And that was the comparison that she was drawing, that Disney apparently deemed to be abhorrent in some sort of judgment towards people of different cultures and backgrounds. We'll keep reading Gina Carano's statement here. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history to it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep Bop Boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender people. This is in reference to a post she made where she says, you know, I'm not going to be sharing my pronouns on this platform, and instead put a Beep Bop Boop for her pronouns. And apparently that pissed off Disney and also led to her termination. She goes on to say she had asked questions about masks and lockdowns and all the things that were happening during the COVID regulations and all the crazy stuff that was being done on behalf of safety and science, and asked whether or not she should be allowed to ask those questions as somebody who worked for Disney and Lucasfilm. To that, she says, absolutely. She goes on to say, Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why, then, were my male co-hosts permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? We're going to get into that. She's calling out a couple of her co-stars, but mainly, I believe, Pedro Pascal, who made several social media posts making clear what his political affiliation was and how he felt about people who disagreed with him. Here's a post from Pedro Pascal's Instagram.
Hey, Rolo, with regard to crabs in a bucket, is it more, okay, I'll explain crabs in a bucket. Is it more guys want to be him but want to pull him back down, or guys want to be him and associate themselves with him? I'm hope I'm making sense. Yeah, you are. I've read all your books starting round two. Okay, crabs in a barrel. This is not my quote. This is someone else's quote, but and this wasn't even about red pill stuff when it was quoted, but the idea is this, you know, most guys are like crabs in a barrel. When a crab, like if you're fishing, right? It was a story about a fisherman is what it was. And I'm a fisherman myself. I like to go dock fishing. I like to go surf fishing. I like to go deep sea fishing. I like to go fly fishing. Yeah, I've fished pretty much with the exception of ice fishing. Maybe it seems so dangerous. But I've pretty much fished every way you could possibly fish. Now, crabs in a bucket is, if you're using, like, say there's some kind of fish you want to catch, like it's usually bottom fish, right? You use crabs, right? And you buy crabs by the bucket in bait, right? Well, the thing is you don't have to put a lid. You generally don't have to put a lid on a bucket of crabs, because when one crab gets to the top of the thing to get out, there's like 10 crabs that grab him and pull him back down into the bucket. Well, they use that as sort of this metaphor for life, right? Like as soon as somebody gets better, as soon as somebody starts looking like they might be exceeding and leaving the crab bucket, as soon as somebody betters themselves to the point where they're like going to get out of their situation, in this case, it's the bucket, there are 10 or 12 other guys that are ready to pull him back down in. Now, your question about this is, are the guys really want to be this guy, but want him to pull him back down? Yes. Or do the guys want to be him and associate themselves with him? Also, yes. Both can be true at the same time. But I think primarily what it is it's this want for familiarity. And whenever I use the crab in the bucket metaphor, it's usually when people ask me, like, say, well, Rolo, how come my family and my dad and my brothers and my best friend, like, I've gone red pill and they say that you're an asshole and I shouldn't listen to you, and you've changed, brah, and you're trying to be something you're not. You're a poser. You're trying to be someone who you're not. Right? And usually the reason why they say that is because they want you to stay predictable. They don't want you to get any better, because a better you might also inspire them, or it might also like point a finger back at them that they're not as good as you. And that is kind of goes against the sort of emotionalist, egalitarian narrative. It certainly goes against the participation trophy generation bullshit. Everyone's a winner. You know who is a winner? They're all the crabs in that bucket, but they're on the winner's bucket, so they're all the same and they're all winners. That's pretty much what egalitarian is. You want to know where the participation trophy mentality came from? It came from female influence in society. It came from this egalitarian norm. We should all feel special. We're all different, but we're all special we're all the same. We're all as one, but we're all special in our own way. We're all winners. We all get a participation trophy. There's no winners. We're not going to keep score. What was it? I think it was in was it in Australia, or maybe it was New Zealand or something like that. I think it was was it a volleyball team or a soccer team? And they decided they were never going to have any captains in the team. It was a female soccer team, I believe. And so they would say, okay, Jen, you're the captain for this game. And Becky, you're the captain for this game. And Sonia, whatever your fucking name is, you're the captain of this, for this game. And it was a
Can you spell?
I'm an English teacher.
You're an English teacher? Okay, perfect. Spell river.
River, R-I-V-E-R.
Put a D in front of river. What does that spell?
What? It doesn't spell. It's not a word.
It's not a word?
Put a D, like the letter D.
The letter D in front of river. What does that spell?
R-I-V-E-R. Like
Yes.
the letter D in front of. That's not a word.
That's not a word. And she's an English teacher. Okay. How do you spell driver?
Do you speak Spanish?
Yes, you can avoid that.
Okay, cool. Can I get number 6?
You just asked me if I speak Spanish for no reason.
Basically, but can I get number 6?
Looks like someone is about to get that special sauce on a sandwich.
I left my boyfriend and I've been traveling for 10 days and I've slept with 22 people in that 10 days. My goal was 20 and I just hit 22 this morning. It's 1 p.m. now here in Paris and I need to check out because I'm going home. I really doubt I'm going to get another one on the board, either on the plane or like on my layover. So I think 22 is where we're going to cap it out. But how did I go?
Why do women think being easy is such a huge flex? Like the only person you're hurting is your father. Now may we have a moment of silence for the simp that's going to wife this up.
Can we just bow our heads and have a moment of silence for every man who tried to turn a hoe into a housewife? Let's just do that for a second. There.
I don't agree because I've met a lot of high value men who are very successful that want a woman who has passion and drive and focus as well.
Let me ask you a question on that. Do you think that men lie to get laid?
Yes.
Do you think men will tell you what you want to hear to get laid?
Never.
The more money a man makes, the less he cares about the money that you bring or
Right,
your career.
yeah.
So I would argue that actually the less money a guy makes, that might be the type of guy who is more inclined to have some sort of care about the money you bring. If he's looking long term into like, okay, I want a family, the economic reality, we're gonna need two incomes. He might
Speaking-
care, but you specifically mentioned like high earners, and I would argue
Right.
high earners actually, the more money a guy makes, the less he cares about how much money he makes.
A wise man once said, men, we fall in love with our eyes. Women, they fall in love with what they hear. It's the exact same reason why men lie and women wear makeup. Because when you tell a woman the truth, this is what happens.
Isaiah, you need to be honest. Does this fit you good?
Oh yeah, that fits good. Jeez, does not fit you at all. Are you trying to dress bad? Maybe get an extra 3 sizes bigger because you're kind of.
Isaiah, what did you say?
I was saying it looks pretty good on you. It looks pretty good. It's not flattering at all, and it's a little tight and a lot of skin for your body type. You know, other girls.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Baby, make anything look great. If you're looking for the worst color for your skin tone, you nailed it. And your arms can pass for legs with how tight that shirt is. And now I know when it hits on you. I want to be a jealous boyfriend every now and then. But you give me no reason to when you dress like that.
I can't believe you just can't tell your girlfriend that she looks good in her clothes.
Babe, what did I say?
Yo, someone had to tell her. Huh?
Like, you really just should have paid for all of our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18. Why don't you gotta pay for all y'all food though? You brought 18 friends. I'm finna leave you. You staying here with them or you coming with me? Bro!
If you wanted to feed 18 of your friends for your birthday, stay at home and cook it yourself. I would have hit the split so fast.
Now I gotta split.
This is a PSA for anybody that likes to pay for the group tab and act like a baller. Don't pay the fucking tab if you can't tip accordingly. I'm like, okay, so are we splitting the check? How are we doing this? He's like, oh, no, I'll take it. Everyone's like, oh, really? Yeah, I got it. $50 and you leave $5? And I gave you refills and you didn't even ask. Fuck off.
I'm Asian and I'm really good at math. Let's calculate this real quick. She got $5 for a $50 bill. That's a 10% tip. What's wrong with a 10% tip? Only in America, the entitlement. Tips are a perk. They're not an obligation. If she's unsatisfied with her pay, she needs to go talk to her boss. And it just seems like women nowadays, they are never happy.
And this is why a lot of guys get red pilled, because Tom Brady was everything a chick would want. Christian guy, family man, not out there partying left and right. I don't think he's a known cheater, at least. Yet, he can do everything right and his wife will still divorce his ass. Women are never happy. You can give a woman everything she wants and she will never be happy.
Oh my God. That is
Hurrah!
Would you date a doctor? Would you date someone in the professional field?
I have. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Why?
There's a multitude of reasons. I mean, this is my take on it, but I've noticed this with other like higher earning guys. The reason why men don't care about women that have careers in professionalism, etc. in general, I'm not saying I wouldn't date them, but I don't care for it, is because a lot of the times when women come from careers, especially higher earning careers, especially careers that tend to make them more masculine, they're annoying. If I'm going to be very candid about this because they're annoying, they're less agreeable, they're argumentative, they're competitive. They think that their money matters to me when it really doesn't. They just have a lot of bad traits a lot of the times, and she's not available. And then they tend to be a little bit older because obviously she's chased a career, she has an advanced degree, doctor, whatever, especially. She's older. She's in her late 20s and 30s at this point. For me, I'm like, I don't give a none of that. I'd rather go date a hotter 21-year-old that's not going to give me a headache, that's going to be more compliant, that's going to be more submissive, follow my program. And that's really what I'm more interested in. Like, men typically don't care about a woman's ability to create resources.
Now, ladies, look at these statistics. You can't lie about the numbers. It says here, women with PhDs have a 90% chance divorce rate. Sounds like a sweet gamble to me. And isn't it crazy? When a man makes money, he thinks about giving the life that his girl wants, giving her a family. But when a woman makes money, I'm strong and I'm independent and I don't need a man. Sensational, isn't it?
Sensational. How long have y'all been together? About a year.
Okay, we already.
How long? About a year. Do y'all trust each other 100%? Yeah.
Theories on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube that will make us question reality, change our perspective on life, make us rethink everything. Yeah, I'm excited. I know y'all are too. I know we're going to have some heat throughout this video. Shout out to everyone that has sent in videos. If you want your video on here, please add the Discord and y'all know what to do from there. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into today's video. Hey guys, before we dive into the reactions, I gotta give a quick shout out to today's amazing sponsor, Raycon. Their wireless earbuds are a game changer, offering top-notch quality without breaking the bank. Imagine getting fantastic sound wherever you go. And get this, it's only half the price with no compromise. Raycon earbuds comes with 3 awesome sound profiles. There's pure sound, which I use for podcasts or sermons, balanced sound for when the music shifts, and let's not forget the epic bass sound, perfect for workouts, especially my treadmill sessions. And comfort? Oh, Raycon has that covered with gel tips for a snug in-ear fit. Trust me, they stay put no matter what you're up to. But here's the real deal. 32 hours of battery life. 8 hours of playtime on a single charge, and they even have a built-in mic for calls with just 2 taps. Need some peace and quiet? Raycon's got you covered with noise isolation. And get this, if you want to be aware of your surroundings, just touch and hold the right earbud logo for 3 seconds, and you're in awareness mode. Oh, and did I mention their series? Surprise.
The Singh-Sanji verse refers to the 1665 Great Plague of London. The ring around the rosies refers to the red rings that started to develop on plague victims' skin. The pockets full of posies refers to stuffing pockets full of flowers to mask the bad smell.
Oh, wow.
The ashes refers to the burning of the dead bodies from the victims of the plague. The we all fall down is said to represent death, and everyone falls down or dies.
I'm laughing because they really had us singing this as kids, and it's like, did y'all not look into the origin of why we sing that? Because that's very dark.
The moment you realize the meaning behind this song,
pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
See, now it sounds scary, but getting the meaning behind any song honestly be having me like, you was really saying that? You had me singing that at an early age is crazy.
Oreos, bro, are satanic. There was this person and they study symbols. If you think about it, on an Oreo, you know how that pattern's on the front? It's like, I don't know, it catches your eye. So
yeah,
the cross on the Oreo is a satanic cross. You know the Freemason compass? Yeah. It's also this part of the Oreo, like the triangle. Wow. Oh, this is where it gets even crazier. The word Oreo originates from an ancient Greek and Egyptian term, Orias, and that is an Egyptian serpent that people used to worship.
Man, oh man, oh man. I did a video about that too, where I said, are Oreos satanic? Meaning, I'm asking a question. Are they demonic? I gave out the whole Leviathan cross symbol, on there and how it literally looks just like the Oreo logo looks just like the Leviathan cross. When I tell you, people, so we can't eat a cookie no more? Oh, you're doing too much. Oh, she's brainwashed. Oh, she's down the rabbit hole. That just shows that y'all desires is stronger than y'all discipline, because ain't no way. You got so many people bringing out this stuff. This stuff is hidden in plain sight. You have people bringing this stuff out, and their whole thing was, now we can't eat we can't eat a cookie no more. Yeah, you need to go find a life, or do you? Okay, I mean, if you find with, I never said you couldn't do it. I was just bringing out the fact that it's like, it's funny how they really are close, hand in hand, reference each other. I bought some stuff out. Y'all had to check it out on my TikTok again. My TikTok is Perky. I bought it out. If y'all not on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. It's Perky. I post on YouTube. My YouTube shorts are on Perky TV. So y'all don't get it one way or the other, I promise you. But go check it out, because I really kind of like broke some stuff down. Are Oreos connected to Satanism? Let's discuss. It's about the symbol on the cookie itself. Look at the circle with the 2 lines above it. It looks a lot like the satanic cross. If you Google the satanic cross, at first glance, it seems to be the same symbol. But if you compare these side by side, the satanic cross has 2 loops, while the Oreo one is just a circle. Now, some people say it's only a circle because they wanted to write the word Oreo in it. And what about the name Oreo? Some believe it comes from the Egyptian symbol Oris, which is a serpent, and we know that Satan in the Bible was often depicted as a serpent. Like and follow for more.
The reason why all fast food restaurants is red and yellow. Look at that.
Bring it out,
Every
bring it
single
out.
one. Red and yellow. The reason why is because those are anxiety colors. And when you get anxiety and fear, you just want to eat. You just want to gobble, gobble, gobble. So the Taco Bell has got the 666 in their logo. You see that 6 right there? And that 6 right there, and that 6 right there, 666. Ben and Jerry's got the 31 for the 31 flavors, but backwards is 13, and it could be the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. The FedEx logo, easy.
Has that arrow?
Arrow right there.
Yeah.
The Coca-Cola symbol has cocaine going up the nose there. If you look carefully, sideways. And
Hold on,
Coca-Cola
wait. Okay, has it going up the nose? I'm looking for the face, you guys. I hold on. Y'all may need to break this one down for. I don't see a face right now, but then I'll go and I'll edit this video. I'm like, I see it. How do you not see it? It's right in front of you, plain as day. Somebody please point that out for me. If you have a video where it's like, or a picture where it's circling the logo, please point that out.
But there's a little arrow right there. The Coca-Cola symbol has cocaine going up the nose there if you look carefully, sideways. And Coca-Cola is the reason why you have Santa Claus today. The whole image of Santa Claus with the big beard and heavy set red hat all comes from marketing of Coca-Cola.
They don't care about y'all. Do you see how they use
guys no longer want to get married?
Ooh, I'm gonna answer this one. First of all, we have to look at the statistic. 50% of all marriages end in divorce. 70% of those divorces are initiated by women. The family court system is notoriously unfair towards men, especially when it comes to child custody rights. Let's put it another way. If we had a coin, and heads meant that you win $1 million, tails meant that you lose everything, your car, your phone, your home, your money, your job, everything, would you take it? Most people reasonably wouldn't take that deal. So maybe, just maybe, it's not men. Maybe there's a scarcity of women who are marriage material. And maybe men are apprehensive about a judicial system that doesn't favor them. And that has nothing to do with men going their own way. It has everything to do with men making smarter decisions.
Crumbles. Why is a father considered to be a good dad if he encourages his daughter to dress modestly, but a boyfriend's considered controlling if he wants his girl to do the same?
Oh, woo! Wait, repeat that? Hold on. Well, I have strict parents, so he doesn't know. We got daddy issues. That's right! Right! You just like your dad tells you to dress up or dress down, you listen to him, right? Your boyfriend tells you to do that, find another one.
But isn't he daddy?
No. Boyfriend, hey, we be in the moment, okay? When we call him daddy, we be in the moment. We don't mean it with our heart or our chest. That's right. Women empowerment. My Insta is BBYBenny9743. Malibu goes crazy on TikTok and Instagram.
Fuck yeah, again, it's gg.lyvy.
Never met the kids?
Because I told him I don't want to unless we're married.
You've never met these children?
Yeah, I haven't. But that's my choice, though. Okay.
You've been with a dude for 2 years with kids. You'd be a stepmother before a wife, and you've never even met these children?
If I could change places with anyone in this world, I think it would be my husband. What a privileged man. In his world, the mini trash cans empty themselves. His mirror never has toothpaste splashes on it. Little by little, his house becomes more aesthetically pleasing, and he has no idea how or why. He doesn't have to worry about giving the children their vitamins. He lives in a world where he doesn't know that you have to vacuum under the cushions of a couch. Tag your husband if he's one of the elite and knows these things.
The problem that I have with this video is not that she's picking out one particular thing that she always does for her child while leaving out a lot of things that he probably does all the time, such as building stuff like that deck. That's not it, because I think that every relationship has that to some degree. It is all about the teamwork. But that is not where she ends the video. She does bash her husband because she goes on to list 3 other things that he never does that she only takes care of, and then she calls him privileged.
That's right.
You've been told a lie about growing a YouTube channel and becoming a successful content creator. And unfortunately, this lie sets up even the most consistent and creative YouTubers for failure. And honestly, I can't believe how common it still is for you to hear this advice in YouTube tips and tricks videos. The lie goes a little something like this. If you want to grow on YouTube, all you need to do is find a niche. One that's really specific and that you're an expert in, and that you can make consistent weekly videos about. Just look up the most commonly used search terms in your niche and crank out tutorial after how-to video after tutorial, and eventually your videos will pick up traction in search and your channel will grow. And when your audience is big enough, let's say 100,000 subscribers, then you can start posting what you really want. And your subscribers will follow you no matter what content you post. And you live happily ever after. This does not work. And sadly, I really believed that it would. For years, I told myself once I hit a certain subscriber count, then I could start posting the videos that I really wanted to post instead of the stuff that was optimized for search. I'm gonna tell you why that didn't work for me and what I would do differently if I could start over growing my YouTube channel again. Basically, this old method for YouTube growth does not work, but what does? That's what we're gonna get into in today's video. Welcome back to another coffee chat with Katie, my friends. I am back to living in the van, and today I've made myself a little iced coffee. As always, let me know in the comments what you are drinking, and let's dive right into it. Okay, so the biggest lie in this strategy that I've outlined for you, a strategy that I have come to call the scale then pivot strategy for YouTube growth, is the idea that you can grow an audience based on hyper niche content and expect that that audience will pivot with you if you start creating new content. I know that the strategy comes from a good place, right? It's nice to imagine that you could create content on YouTube and eventually your audience will come to love you and not just the content that you make. It's not that that's an inherently flawed idea. It is possible to do that.
Gonna make it through this. Oh, it's okay, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleb is back. In tonight's special report, I have massive updates on the farmer protests going on in Europe, as it appears now that the farmers are united all over Europe, rising up against the radical climate agenda. You won't want to miss tonight's story. Stick around. Today's report has been brought to you by Beaver Bitcoin, Canada's best Bitcoin exchange. I've been listening to your feedback the last couple of months, and a lot of you guys want to buy Bitcoin. You just don't know how. It's too confusing. Well, my sponsor, Beaver Bitcoin, is stepping up in a huge way and offering customer service to those who don't understand how to buy Bitcoin for the first time. If you guys want to acquire Bitcoin, head over to beaverbitcoin.com/pleb, sign up, and they will walk you through your first purchase. And as usual, folks, please double check that you're still subscribed. I need you to be vigilant, okay? Because YouTube is unsubscribing so many of you. I still read the comments every single day. I don't know why they're doing this. Maybe because I tell the truth. Maybe because I'm a conservative. So please double check that you're still subscribed. And yes, yesterday I hit 100,000 subscribers, and this was my reaction from the live stream. Let's go, 2 away. We are 2 away. Thank you for the super chat. We are 1 away. Oh my God! We are at 100,000 subscribers. 100,002 subscribers. We have made it. Okay. What a special moment that was yesterday. And thank you to everyone who joined me on their lunch hour to come witness me hit 100K. And thank you to
Well, European lawmakers are reportedly considering banning and sanctioning Tucker Carlson over his interview with Russian President Putin. It almost sounds fake. I mean, it sounds like fake news, or it sounds like a Babylon Bee headline. But no, it's real, because he is apparently aiding a war criminal, according to the EU members of parliament. A former Belgian prime minister, current member of the European Parliament, who is calling for the EU to impose a travel ban on the former Fox News host, as they say, that told Newsweek. So Newsweek called up, and I guess was calling around Parliament all over the EU. Hey, what about that Carlson? What do you guys think?
How dare he travel abroad to a place we don't like?
Yeah, they're calling him a mouthpiece for former President Trump and a mouthpiece for Vladimir Putin, and therefore he's assisting a war criminal, and then he should be arrested, sanctioned, wind up like Julian Assange. Really? Is this what we're talking about now?
Has everybody been sanctioned for
Interviewing George Bush or Obama or
right? Yeah, good question.
Cheney,
right? Yeah, I sat down with Dick Cheney. He's a war criminal. You should be locked up for interviewing a war criminal.
That's a good point.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like let's say, like benefit of the doubt. Let's say, okay, he's allowed to be if he wants to be. Like, what the hell? Like, if I wanted to be a mouthpiece for somebody, I'm allowed to do that. Isn't that sort of like constitutionally protected?
Right, you'd think.
I would think.
Well, you're constitutionally protected in the United States, right? But I guess in the European Union, of course, they don't really have those liberties, right? So I guess they can. We've seen this in Germany, going after journalists for their reporting in Ukraine. We've already seen that, and so there's a number of countries now in the European Union that are specifically doing that. So they don't have the same freedoms that the United States enjoys. Anders Aslund tweeted this just a few minutes ago. Yes. And he's an author, writes about Putin. He says the EU should sanction Tucker Carlson because he is no journalist, but a leading Kremlin propagandist. The EU has rightly sanctioned a score of leading Kremlin propagandists and many Europeans for various reasons. It would be a mistake not to sanction Tucker Carlson. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. He's supposed to be an academic, right?
And he's gone over the European Union. He didn't even stop in the European Union. So what does this have to do with Europe at all, other than the fact that they're so willing and desperate to sell a war?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what else I find
and inject themselves
funny about
in
the
this
whole
conversation?
thing? It's like a lot of the criticism that these people give about Putin is how he treats journalists. I mean, that's like one of the biggest criticisms. It's like, look at what he killed journalists. Look what he's done to journalists.
Right.
And then that's what they're calling for on a journalist.
Yeah, I guess they're saying that about him. I mean, and so meanwhile, the mainstream media is losing their mind too. So it's not just the political class. Mainstream media around the world. It's not just the United States. It's BBC. They're losing their mind over Tucker announcing that he's completed an interview with Putin. They're calling him every name in the book, of course, far right-wing propagandists, Putin stooge. They can't handle it. And they're mostly pissed about this part, at least the mainstream media is. They're mostly pissed about this part of Tucker's statement last night. Watch.
And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that as nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they've done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin.
River Deep Mountain High on our Rumble chat says, because they're watching in Australia right now, breakfast television in Australia. Good morning down there, down under. Says there's no mention of any war or Tucker on breakfast television here in Australia. Yeah, isn't that shocking? See, you have to go to the alternative media. You literally can't get this in your mainstream media, and they won't allow it. They won't cover it, and they won't tell you the truth about what's going on.
You know, last night when this broke, I watched this and I thought, sounds reasonable, because the mainstream media has been lying about the war in Ukraine, but they don't know it because mostly they don't study. They just take what the White House says for its word and they run with it. And they are so committed to the Putin is a madman narrative that they don't dig for themselves. And so they are largely ignorant. So I thought to myself, well, maybe they'll dig when they see this. What can you say against someone that says we should hear all sides? Maybe this will shut them up. The lengths to which they have gone to discredit this and make it so that you don't watch it really upset me this morning. It was the first thing that I sort of consumed this morning while looking at the to write the newsletter. And I just couldn't believe how dishonest and ignorant and how committed to ignorance they are in their attempts to discredit this before they've seen it.
Yeah.
It made me really, really sad, actually.
I'm just waiting for Rachel Maddow to do her little piece. Like, we were going to play some of the clips of the Tucker Putin interview, but we feel like we can't be putting out this information because it's false and we don't want you guys to see it.
We'll put it through our.
They do that.
We'll put it through our sieve,
and we'll tell you what you should see.
Yeah.
Right.
So that clip I just played of Tucker, where he's basically talking about, interviewing Putin, and of course them lying and how these media outlets are corrupt. That's what made them upset. That, of course, video has now